Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Today, we are going to be reviewing something.
That's right. Tonight we're going to go over the Dungeons and Lasers 2 Kickstarter stretch goals. I just finished, literally just finished painting up a huge pile of pieces. And we're going to go over them, not actually one by one, but in small groups, because this time around they were kind of grouped, in larger little chunks, if you will. Things like the blacksmith and, like a wizard's laboratory and outdoor stuff and indoor stuff, things like that. So we're going to go over them and give you the things we like about them, things we didn't like about them, things we'd like to see in the future, and little ideas that maybe will make the Kickstarter 3 or 4 just a little bit better. I'm going to start out with a couple of...
Bridge?
Yeah. Our favorites. These two bridges, very, very cool pieces, very nice additions.
I'm pretty sure this one was some sort of mistake, I think.
Yeah, it literally said "oops" on the sprue because
it's also bigger.
Right, which I actually like it better because it's bigger. You can get horses on there, maybe even small carriages. But
the one issue with it is it seems like it's just the same thing but stretched out.
Right,
It makes the details less detailed.
But if you flip it over, you can see, and most of you guys already know this, but this one does not have a connector slot so that you can use it to, bridge chasms and gaps with your Dungeons and Lasers pieces. You can still just pop this right on top, but I think because it's a little longer and what have you, it might overlap just a little bit. But all in all, this is one of the top pieces in the set. Now, I'm going to go over a couple of pieces that I didn't quite finish, just because of time constraints and a couple other issues. This one, well, we love this piece with the Marduk five-headed dragon. I had to dig out the paperwork on all the different dragons to see, if this is the red dragon or if this is the bone dragon. And I didn't have time.
I don't think any of them are bone. Actually, no, I think one is.
Yeah, because it's all five of the different dragons, melded into one giant, monster five-headed dragon. Yeah, except for the Xeno, which would have been interesting, but I see why they didn't do it. So I didn't do the heads on this one, but, I really like the fact that they added this, and even better, which will come into play in a moment, since I got 4 different packages of stretch goals, I'm going to have 4 of these pieces, which will make for a very interesting room. Instead of just trying to make this just, the centerpiece of a room, I can actually, design different, layers for Marduk, or the hallway leading to Marduk's lair. So all in all, it's a really great piece. Let's get it out of here. What do you want to hit next?
Your choice.
Okay, let's keep in theme. Doors and walls.
Oh.
These extra walls and the doorway we got. Actually, there's one more doorway and one more wall. Let's just get them all in there. Kind of just a sneak preview of what's to come. This one, fabulous. This is going to go right into the torture chamber. You need prison doors to keep the prisoners in there, or just a gated door, which is so common in Dungeons and Dragons themed games. You're going to see doors like that. Just another wall to break up the monotony. Again, got 4 of these and 4 of these and 4 of all of them. So it's really going to spice everything up. And this one over here, I believe it's a cottage wall or a 2-door style wall that won't hurt having an extra in your collection. This one here is kind of neat too, with the little torches and the little decorations and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good.
All in all, a lot of nice.
Also, the dragon is kind of weird.
Yeah, I almost lost that leg. A lot of people miss the fact that one of the front legs is you have to glue it in, and it's such a tiny little piece that you could easily lose it on the sprue, not realizing it's there, or just losing it while you're trying to build all these pieces, because there are a lot of pieces. Let's say we... What?
Yes.
Okay, these corner pieces to help, mess up your rooms or your outdoor situations. Use it as a bit of ruins or what have you. They're nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really wish they would have been something. I really thought this was actually a pile of treasure from the illustrations, but it turned out just to be rubble. And
I mean, you can technically have some treasure in there.
well, there's a couple of shields and a hammer. I suppose that could be counted as treasure, but I'm really hoping to see a very large pile of treasure.
Didn't they make that?
No, not really.
Oh,
Not when I talk about a large pile of treasure, I'm talking like a dinner plate sized pile of treasure. One of these
real life dinner plate.
Yeah, real life dinner plate size. I mean, when I think of dragons, and in all the games that I've dungeon mastered, when you guys finish off a big dragon, you're gonna find a pile of treasure that is literally kind of that big. I mean, growing up watching the Hobbit cartoon and the absolute mountains of treasure in Smaug's lair.
But you do realize that's kind of hard to make, right?
Yeah, I do. I remember
It's
when
hard to make.
I drew that picture of the dragon.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
You drew each individual coin.
Yes, and that took me a month to draw. But that's what I was hoping for. But let's move on to something a little bit more fun. How about let me do these?
Okay.
Turn around.
It's a bed. And then a bed that eats you.
Yes, it was a classic edition. I think I actually have a Raw Partha metal mimic bed, but I actually like this one better.
Just the eye?
No, the other one had, I think, 2 eyes on stalks, maybe. I really don't remember. Yeah, it's really weird. I like this one better because it's just creepy. It's just there's no way around it. It's just you're gonna have nightmares, just thinking about having almost slept in a bed that almost literally ate you.
Yeah.
And I actually struggled with it. It's another piece of rubble. I forgot to add with the other rubble pieces. It's a nice little piece, but it's gonna fall over. You could blow it over, with a good sneeze. Yeah, see. And let's move on to something else. What do you say?
Flags.
Flags? Okay, you really like these.
I like flags.
The only thing I don't like, well, actually, it's not those. I was thinking of something else. These, believe it or not, they have these little tassels that ran down here and here and here and here that literally I don't think any of them ever survived the injection. Yeah, they broke off, or they didn't even, get formed properly. They were supposed to have these long, like, ropes hanging down. Really thin, fiddly little pieces that would have broken off if you looked at them wrong anyways. So they didn't come out, and I had to trim off a little bit of the remainder that did come out of the mold. But, I'm glad I have these. You can definitely, dress up the walls and break up the monotony, of just blank walls, which this set of Kickstarters really actually did in spades. There are a lot of pieces that plug into the walls. Speaking of, you want to do those?
We'll do these two, which are a bit... They're actually not simpler.
Yeah, I really simplified the paint job because I just, my skill level isn't those are like 10 millimeter, maybe 11 millimeter, 15 millimeter scaled people, and I just wanted to make them look like a simple piece of decoration. But then there's all these other little pieces of decoration.
Oh wow, they have
A head on a spike, an orc head on a shield, the sword shield little thing,
and the dragon.
and a couple more here. Some torches and things like that, a skull hanging down, another torch. And I guess they heard me because there are quite a few torches in this set.
And they're better torches?
And it's not a matter of better, it's all a matter of, taste and style, what you prefer.
Well, I mean, they can be removed and put in easier.
I think so.
Not like the other torches where we just replace them with lights.
Yeah. And because these are so decorative in a lot of cases, except for this one, it's just your basic, real, accurate looking torch and a little tiny head on a spike. Yeah, it's another tiny piece that, if you're not careful, you're going to lose. And then, the best one, I mean, it's just, it's horrific and funny at the same time. It's literally, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it's a pixie or a fairy that's literally chained to the wall.
kind of weird. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, it's you know, I had fun painting it. You can't really see the details I put on it, but I did my best. And
I see you did a bit of wet blending there.
yeah, imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah, who says the old man doesn't have skills? This guy, he says it every day.
I didn't say that. I just said you're bad.
You implied it, yeah. But it was when I saw it in the sketches on the website, you know, I busted a gut laughing. I'm like, I cannot wait to paint this. And again, I've got 4 of these, so now I can actually have a hallway filled with you know, trapped pixies that you have to rescue that will eventually annoy the party to death with their incessant whining, I suppose, about being held prisoner and now wanting to get the heck out of the dungeon. But it's just you know, pure comedy.
All right, let's move on to more. These.
Okay, yeah. Despite the fact that I love these are some of my absolute favorite
I can't see
pieces.
connect tools.
Thank you for noticing that. That is the only flaw. Let's bring them up close to the camera. These are beautiful pieces, but they are lacking this little peg right here.
You know, that can almost be a good thing. Because you can put them in other places with
Right.
some sort of...
Just use blue poster putty and you'll be fine.
And then you can use those holes for lights.
Right.
So
It's
not that bad.
Yeah, it's just... It just
It still would have been nice to have
the pegs. Just because it would have just made it easy to just pop them in there, boom, boom, boom. And here, you know, having 4 extras or 3 extras of these actually doesn't really help much. You know, these are one-of-a-kind pieces. I'm probably not even going to bother clipping them out or painting the other extras because...
You're going to melt them down?
No, of course not. I will be melting down the sprues, though. I'm looking into that because I have literally...
Except from the important ones?
Right. I have a huge pile of sprues, and there's a lot of videos out there on how to melt down that plastic and reuse it, so I'm definitely thinking of ways to try to do that. But I had a lot of fun with these. This one wasn't really, you know, that much difficulty on the paint job, but it was just fun, you know. I actually, when I first saw that, I was like, what did I call this?
I don't know what you called it.
Oh, it was a Goblin and Carbonite, because it's got kind of the Han Solo pose, you know, in the Carbonite.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
And the other one is, we were wondering why there's a snake coming out, but...
I was mostly wondering why, is this supposed to be a painting, not a...
Right.
So why is it coming out like a painting?
Oh, why is it so three-dimensional?
Yeah.
Maybe it's an old type of art style, you know, maybe it's actually a sculpture, but...
Maybe, I mean, it could just be there to, I mean...
Either way, these are 2 of my favorite pieces.
Technically, things like that do exist, like,
Right, and you know, some oil paintings actually are kind of thick in different areas because of the layers of paint and what have you. Now let's move on to the Dwarven Mine accessories. I believe that's what these are. Now I don't know if this is supposed to be scrolls, but of course I'm going to turn it into dynamite. And I turned the rubble in there into dark stone for our Shadows of Brimstone games. I don't know if you noticed that.
you did?
Yeah, or at least I tried.
That looks like coal.
Yeah. The only problem with this, and it's really kind of...
that's dynamite.
It's dynamite? You can see fuses?
Yeah.
Okay. This piece right here. Okay, this is fine. I got no problem with any of that. That's great. But this is the only piece of mine track, and they could have literally made, you know, half a dozen pieces that would have, you know, really, really fleshed out your Dwarven
really,
Mines.
all it needs is to be able to turn.
Yeah, or a split-off section.
Yeah, split. That's all I need. Split and return.
Terrain Crate makes a really excellent set of mine tracks, and it's like a $10 or $15 set of mine accessories with, you know, I want to say about a dozen pieces of mine track, and for the price, you know, if Archon Studio doesn't come around and in one of the next Kickstarters, you know, give us some more of this kind of a piece, you know, more tracks, then I'm just gonna go with the Terrain Crate versions and lay them down in my mines, because this is just not enough. I mean, if I had...
If they made 3 of these, 2 turns and 1 split.
And there's often a thing, I forget what they call it, but it's a stop, where the carts stop, and there's like a sort of a bumper to keep the cart from leaving the track. But, you know, even if I had a dozen of these, it wouldn't be enough. You know, that'll get you about, what, this far maybe?
Yeah.
You know? So,
Then you can just remove them.
so Archon, if you catch this video, which I know you will, please think about, more of these, lots more. And definitely a little bit bigger too. This is just a tiny little piece, and it's good, but it's just a little bit disappointing. Let's grab these out real quick.
Okay.
I like these.
Yeah.
I've seen
Simple. Well, not simple, but
they're very interesting. They're going to make for great columns. Again, I've got 4 sets, so
is this supposed to go like this?
no.
Then why is the dragon head upside down?
It's not.
Oh.
Let's stand them up so they get a good idea. You put them at the beginning of a doorway, and then have some lead into some dragon lair or something.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Something
hint.
else.
Just more hints of what's to come.
Speaking of dragons.
You want to do the throne? Okay, grab the throne.
Sure. We made a throne, but this one is smaller, but not as small as the one that. Well, we would have still made the throne if it wasn't for that one piece, but
It's a nice little throne, and I'm actually glad that I have 4 of them, because I do plan an encounter where there will be a room with 4 different thrones for different dragon slayers, where they, hold court or something like that in the near future. But I really like it. I wish it was just bigger. Bigger's better.
But a throne isn't supposed to be your house.
I understand.
You can live in in that throne room we made.
Yes, you could.
If all it was just you built walls around it and the ceiling was directly where it stopped, you could live there.
Yeah. So it's a nice piece.
Aside from all the.
And I'm actually technically not done with the fire. I just I wasn't sure how I wanted to paint it, whether I wanted to leave it stone.
Fire?
Yeah, there's flames in the background.
Well, it's probably not natural fire.
No. And that's why I didn't want to necessarily paint with the neon orange and make it look like you're literally sitting on a stove or something like that. But, nice piece. I like it. Okay.
Oh.
Derek, I hope you're watching, because we will watch all your videos. This is you, buddy. We immortalized you. Instead of painting it, like a character miniature or what have you, we turned it into a statue, because I've got 3 more Dereks.
And also because you were.
I was rushed, I'm not going to lie. And I was racking my head, and I almost forgot to paint this because it was in another room. And then brainstorm hit me. I'm going to immortalize him and turn him to stone. So I hope you like it. I'm sure somebody else thought of the same thing. But, if not, then, you'll have a special place in our collection. You want to do the...
Okay, this is a bunch of rocks, but they are cool looking rocks.
Yes, and I'm technically not done with that. I really wanted the little guy to paint it, but with school and homework and the ride home.
And then we have 3 more?
Yeah. And hopefully we can paint them like different colors to really dress up a cave room.
Yeah, but at the same time it wouldn't hurt to have 2 of the same color, but...
Yeah,
but
it's a really simple paint job. It's that new...
But yeah, as I was saying, would have been better if it could glow.
Like, with neon?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
However...
it's still not too late to do that.
It's still a rock. Not as good as a box, but it's still a rock.
Oh my god. That's a harken to one of our previous videos, I think.
It just all harkened to literally everything I've ever done.
Okay.
I like boxes,
Okay, let's move
I
on.
guess.
It's kind of a box. Well, it's the top
It's
of the
a
box.
roof.
Yes. I really like this piece, but it's going to make for a very small tower top. It's really not that big, and I'm hoping that with some of the other roof sets, we can kind of make this roof even bigger, because a 2x2 square room leaves no room for the spiral staircase.
The room leaves no room.
I did say that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And I didn't break out any of the new connectors or anything like that, because I don't have any of the Woodhaven pieces yet to start messing with that. I'll get to that later. But as you can see, it's not a very big room or tower, so hopefully the other roof pieces will allow this, to make it somehow bigger, a bigger roof, because it's kind of tiny. I know some towers aren't really that big, but then there are some towers that are, 40, 50 feet in diameter. This is what, like 10 feet in diameter, basically? maybe 15 feet, depending on the scale, but it's not big enough. Leave Derek right there. Let's move on. How about we do the blacksmith stuff?
Sure.
Get all that. There's a couple pieces that are not technically, blacksmith stuff.
Do all the others later. All the color.
But there's a grindstone, some farm
No, I
implements.
kind of wish that's... what's a barrel? Oh, no, that's...
It's a wood stump.
Why is there metal around the stump?
To keep it from splitting. And keep it strong.
Why do you need it to...
Because you're constantly using it to. It's where you put your wood that you're going to chop on that block, or on that stump.
Oh, so that the wood on top of it splits, but...
You're right. It's a nice little piece. I don't actually have something like this.
Would have been better if it was a skull, but whatever.
Again, back to old videos. The blacksmith sign, I really like it. It was a lot of fun to paint. I wish they would come up with some other signs real soon. But just looking at this, it won't be hard to sort of make your own sign.
Yeah.
For the alchemist shop or the weaponsmith or, things like that. The sage's, shop. The grindstone was a pretty good idea. It was a little hard to get together because it's got some really tiny little pieces, but I really like it. The suit of armor, it's not quite what we were thinking, but it definitely will go good in a blacksmith shop or an armor or weaponsmith shop. Just, there's a suit of armor for sale, the anvil, of course.
Yeah.
All in all, a lot of good little pieces, and I think there's more coming from Woodhaven.
Probably.
Okay, now let's get a little grim.
Okay. We shot down this with... Actually, no, this is all of it.
These are the...
Did you forget? Oh, no, that's the chair with spikes.
Yeah.
The greatest invention ever. Chair with spikes.
Well, when you want to keep a prisoner, tied up and uncomfortable, or tied up and uncomfortable, or tied up and uncomfortable, you got 3 different options.
4.
You got the throne of pain, the X, I forget what that's called, and of course the rack. The only problem with this is I actually broke off one of the crank handles because, again, it was so tiny. And I broke it off with a pair of clippers trying to remove it from the sprue. I don't know if you can even see that. But
why did you remove it from the sprue? You thought it was separate?
No, when I was removing this piece.
Oh.
And this is a great example of when you're trying to remove this piece, the only way to do it is with a hot knife. Without having this happen, hot knife it, guys. The Iron Maiden, great band. And there you have it. Of course, the guillotine. How can I forget that? I actually wanted one of these, and now I have one. Now I have 4. So for
nice. You went from 0 to having
4.
Now 4. That's pretty nice.
Let's go on to. Let's just do the statuary stuff.
Yeah, there's this statue and a fountain. I didn't know that was a thing. And this. Cool.
Oh, I forgot this one, but we'll go back to it. A lot of nice little decorations. I painted the ghost coming out of the back of the statue with a new kind of paint. This was the Tesseract.
We don't speak of that yet.
Okay.
We don't speak of that color until we do.
Okay. Nice little dragon statue.
Yeah.
Fountain, another statue to go with the other statues.
Which I thought was a building.
Yeah,
for a smaller scale.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what that is. I know I've seen similar things in different mythologies. But
it looks like it would...
It's like a pixie's doghouse or something. Or maybe it is a doghouse for a very spoiled poodle.
It looks...
Speaking of spoiled poodles. Our spoiled poodle is not a poodle, but is...
For some reason, very excited for this video, so
yes.
we let him in.
Well, we let him, we fulfilled his contractual obligation, let him in. You won't see him for another month.
Did you take a bath recently?
Yes. The fountain's nice. I actually passed, in our neighborhood, there's a fountain that looks just like this.
Really?
Yeah, it's over on the other side, on the way to school.
Oh, I thought that one had a baby.
No, I don't think so. But more statues, another place to, I'm not sure what this is for, to put dead bodies like this one or something, but it's, different decoration.
Are those two separate?
Yeah, and here you've got a dead body, and I didn't paint it like an alien or anything like that. I just tried to make him look as human as possible and laid to rest.
Oh, yeah. It just with this lighting, it looked like it was.
So what do you want to do next?
Well, first,
We forgot that one for the mine. Clearly, goes into the dwarven mine. It's a guy who got crushed by a
boulder?
falling rock.
Yeah.
Another. It's kind of a funny piece. I mean, it's sad for the guy who got squished, but it's a great piece to let your party know that, hey, be careful, falling rocks ahead.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to put this at the mine entrance that we made. I wanted to put this in there, but I misplaced it in the box of these pieces. But let's move on. What do you want to do?
Let's do.
All the furniture?
Yeah. Bring this over. So first we have a barrel. Now.
No, it's actually a keg.
Oh well, that removes my entire speech.
Sorry, buddy.
That's pretty cool, I guess.
It's a dwarven keg of some alcoholic beverage.
Why didn't you put it with the other stuff?
I don't know. But it's a nice little piece. I had a little difficulty getting all the pieces to line up. There's actually this big gap that I really did kind of a good job camouflaging it. You have to look for it to find it. And it's got apparently a dwarven brew maker's symbol on it, which I'll probably highlight in gold like I did here. But I didn't even notice it until after I was painting it. It's got this little dwarven.
I see it. Yeah.
And the fireplace, nice little piece.
We made a fireplace, and that's probably better.
It's not bad though. And I did use neon
I
paint.
mean, this one's probably better.
I knew what you meant.
Oh.
Smart guy.
Oh, I thought you didn't.
This set actually came with 2 of these chairs, which I'm really happy to see because that way, you can have dinner.
And a stool.
It came with 2 of those, and I'm not sure if it came 2 of these dressers, but I wanted to scale Derek to see if these were, because at first this looked a little tiny to me, but with Derek here, he's a big goblin, I'm guessing, so he's a fair representation of a regular humanoid, so it doesn't look too tiny. And then a bench, which will go really good in the Temple of the Operators or some sort of church setting. If you've got a couple of these, you can make yourself a set of pews for the services there.
Just make sure that if you're drinking, no, I'm not going to say that. It's too obvious.
Okay, Derek, hang out over there. Let's
do the rest of the furniture. Well, this isn't really furniture, but it's a lantern. The way he did the neon orange is pretty cool.
Yeah, I wanted to make it, lit up because if I didn't light it up, I'd have to use like silver or something to try to make it look kind of like glass, and I'm like, let's just light it up. Let's just light it up. It's a nice little piece. I'm glad I got extras so that you can mark your entrance into the little village and light it up for nighttime encounters and things like that. It's actually one of my favorite pieces. It's a neat little piece.
Yeah, and now the bookshelf.
And it goes like this.
Oh.
Another nice piece. Very difficult to paint. It's got the same Warlock's Altar sort of decorative eyeball there. It kind of reminds me of the Mimic's eye as well. So maybe the Warlock is actually a Mimic wizard or something. I don't know. But I got to paint more books. What would you like? You want to just switch places?
No.
Okay.
So now we have no, not yet.
I know. I'm just kidding. More wizard decoration for your wizard study.
And a map.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what they were going with this table, and I saw the cracks in it, and to me it just said those are rivers. Let's just make it a map. So I tried to make it look like an old timey, map of some area. I should have actually drawn like a little city circle or something for a town or something on the map.
Yeah.
But I got 3 more. I could do that. I could paint them differently, but I really wanted to. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's a map table. That's got to be with that.
Yeah, we have. The bench doesn't really go with it. Just make sure if you're drinking blue Gatorade, don't sit in it.
And another spell book. I actually have like half a dozen versions of this exact piece in pewter or
even
lead.
with the claw.
Well, not exactly, but I mean, it's a lectern.
Supposed to be.
It's some sort of dragon or griffin or.
Oh yeah, but why is it 3 equal?
It almost looked like a scorpion upside down to me.
I can see that actually. Well, now I want to cut it off.
Well, we've got an extra. But the writing, so to speak, in the book was actually fairly decently engraved. So, with dry brushing and inks and stuff, I think I did okay. I probably could have done better. You really need magnifying glasses to see it. Another great dragon piece of treasure. Wasn't there something like this in one of the previous sets?
I think so.
And, of course, a old-timey Bunsen burner kind of thing, which I don't actually have.
Really?
Yeah. Which, I'm glad because now I can set up a table with all kinds of, wizard apparatus on it and, very,
It's there.
very kind of cool. Yeah, sure, why not? Or it can be on the ground.
Alright, so we, as he may or may not have said before, he got a new color when he went to Games Workshop. Actually, we both went. Actually, this isn't that color, right?
No, it isn't. That's just green ink.
Green. So we have these.
Green wash from our painter.
He used a lot of this very special green color. It is very green, actually. Green and a bit of yellow, but that yellow...
that's pure, that color.
No, I know. What I'm saying...
The color is like kind of like the neon orange, but in green.
Yeah, it's basically just that. It's green, the neon orange. It's very good. That's kind of what I expected from this. It's, even though it does have some yellow, lime-ish, some yellow-green... It does have some, it's still very green. It's almost greener than some of the other greens that we have. And
we have a lot of greens, that's what I was trying to say, folks.
It's still pretty good. It's kind of weird how this affects with the wash. It's weird that it's, I don't know, it's just green. He called this a goblin toilet, I think.
Yeah.
And it's still green.
Yeah, it's what it looks like to me. I mean,
it looks like some sort of...
Or a Medusa toilet because of the face that's on it. But
it's just green. It has a green liquid. It is greener than this, greener than whatever cauldron this is. These are all greener than that. This is using that same green, and so is this, as he said before. Not this. This. But all these, not this one. This is not green enough to be considered greener. And yeah, all using the same green. And
a lot of
pretty
fun
green,
pieces here at the end, folks. A lot of fun pieces. I really like this portal. It's not big and imposing. But it's still pretty spooky looking. You got various things cooking in pots. A hand, tentacles. Just witches'
Did you use the green on this?
Yes, I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that adds another thing to the list of...
And I forget the name.
Like
It's Tesseract something.
Tesseract Glow.
Yeah, from Citadel. It's a really fun color to use. It's one of their technical paints, and I will be going back to get some more of their technical paints.
Even though...
What?
I remember last time.
Yeah, oh yeah. We have this horrible habit of getting there at the worst time because they have
No,
really...
I wasn't. I was talking about last episode.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
we get there and the poor guy is like, I'm closed. I just closed. I got there at 6 o'clock on a Saturday, and I'm thinking to myself, they're closed at 6 o'clock on a Saturday? You would think that's when everybody's wanting to come in and play or shop. It's Saturday, but he tells me no, 6 o'clock Saturday. It's a ghost town. So I gotta rememorize their when they're open. And just try to get there when Patrick is not going to lunch or not out to lunch or not getting ready to close up the shop. But he was nice enough to let me come in. And did I get this then?
No, because did I go there?
Yeah, it was at 6 o'clock when they were closed. Remember?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we got there.
Thanks, Patrick. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate all of you guys stopping by and taking a look. Speaking of which. Our friend Nigel, you see him in the comments all the time. He has been a real stand-up guy, helping us out with advice and, really kind words in all of our videos. And also Contrasting Hobby over on Instagram. Go and give this guy a look because his paint jobs are phenomenal. I wish I could be half the painter he was, and I'm sure he's half as old as I am. So... probably no chance of that. Little guy here, on the other hand, you got a chance. So check out Nigel's comments if you get a chance, and check out Contrasting Hobbies. And we will see you guys Thursday with another special craft, all from this little guy's imagination.
That's true, and I'm...
See how modest he is. But yeah, it's going to be a fun craft. Want to give him a hint?
If you want.
Get your XPS ready and an X-Acto knife because it's going to be a fun craft.
Anyways, that has been the Shadow and Sun show. Remember, if you've liked, and that's about it.
Hit that thumbs up on your way out, folks, and we will see you guys soon. Have a great week.
Yes. Good night.